Some cartoons that I saw, I never knew who the actors were. And then as I got older, I found out who the actors were. Some of the voice actors that I saw started in childhood favorite shows of mine, like Clifford the Big Red Dog. Clifford, the lead character of that show, was voiced by Three's Company and 8 Simple Rules star John Ritter. John Ritter was a very big TV star throughout the last century and in the early start of the 21st century when he starred in 8 Simple Rules for Dating My Teenage Daughter. I really didn't know that he voiced Clifford the Big Red Dog. Not until maybe a year ago. Then there was a voice actor, a man who did the voice in a Simpsons episode, Lawrence Tierney from Reservoir Dogs, the actor who played Joe. He was the voice of the head of mall security in the Simpsons episode, Marge Be Not Proud, which was an episode that I saw a long time ago of The Simpsons. And I saw it again recently, and I recognized his voice from Reservoir Dogs, and I was just like, could that be the guy from Reservoir Dogs? And then, of course, and I really watched the end credits. Phil Hartman, of course, was one of the guest voices in that episode. But then it said his name, Lawrence Tierney. I was like, I knew it. I thought I knew his voice. Because Lawrence Tierney had that specific voice that you just, would recognize or remember from, even just for a supporting role. Because in Reservoir Dogs, he was only in like a handful of scenes. He was the head of the crime family. But he had like just a couple of scenes, yet you just knew his voice, just remembering his voice. I was like, hey, I remember his voice. I know who he is. And so yeah, it's just one of those things that you just notice, John Goodman, I knew, who was the voice of Pacha in the Emperor's New Groove and Kronk's New Groove. Of course, I did recognize his voice as Sully in Monsters Incorporated, which I thought was pretty cool and amazing. When I found out that John Ritter was the voice of Clifford, the Big Red Dog, I was quite surprised, because it was just one of those things that you just wouldn't expect. One of those last things on your mind kind of situations. Looking back to some of the old films, like old cartoon films that I watched as a kid, like Shrek and Shark Tale, Madagascar, you name all the other animated films, I'm literally quite surprised to see all the big names that were in those movies. Sure, Robin Williams was in one of them, and yeah, Tom Hanks was in a lot of the other ones. Robert De Niro, Will Smith, Jack Black, Renee Zellweger, you name all the other actors, and yeah, they'd probably show up in there. Bruce Willis, countless. Looking back, I'm like, wow, I was just a little kid, and I had no idea who these actors were. And then as I got older, I found out who they were. I wonder how a lot of people feel after finding out that some of their childhood favorites, cartoon characters, movie characters, were voiced by some of these big names, like Tom Hanks, John Ritter, Jack Black, Will Smith, Robert De Niro. I wonder how they would feel after finding out that some of their favorites were voiced by big names like those guys. Who knows, right? Wish me luck for this week. I got a busy week, so I may not post as much videos as I have been in the past, but I promise I will get to you as quick as I can and whenever I have time. So, wish me luck. Mr. Blues here for you.